So now I am going to begin new topic, vector analysis. So as we know that in physics we can classify all physical quantities into two parts. One is the scalar quantity and other is the vector quantity. Scalar and other is vector quantity. Now, what is the difference that you know? Scalar quantities requires only magnitude to define completely. Requires only magnitude to define completely. While in vector quantities, it requires magnitude as well as direction. Magnitude and direction both. To define completely. Now see one example. Suppose if I have to express the mass of any body, then in order to express the mass of any body, there is no need to mention the direction. It's clear. In order to mention mass, direction is not required. But if you have to find out the effect of the force, so in order to get the effect of the force acting on a body, its direction is required. Suppose this is a chalk piece, and if you apply the force in this direction, what will happen? It will move in this along this. When it will force is applied in this way, it will start rolling. It will start rolling. But if you apply the force perpendicular to its length, what will happen? It will be broken into two parts. Means the effect of force depends upon the direction in which the force is acting. It's clear? So scalar quantities are those which requires only magnitude to define completely, while vector are those which requires magnitude as well as direction both to describe completely. They are called the vector quantity. Now see here, there are some other scalar quantities. Distance, time, speed, work is also a scalar quantity. It's clear? All these are the scalar quantities. Now here force, displacement, velocity, acceleration. There is one term, impulse, you will study afterwards in the work power energy. So all these are the vector quantities. Electric current, electric charge and electric current, all these are scalar quantities. Potential difference. So all these quantities are scalar, which require magnitude only to define completely, while this requires magnitude as well as the direction in which that quantity is directed. That is also required. It's clear? Now see here, after this, how will you represent a vector quantity graphically, geometrically? Geometrically, how will you represent a vector quantity? So I am going to explain that. So see here, geometrical representation of a representation of a vector quantity. So see here, a vector quantity can be represented geometrically by a straight line. Vector quantity can be represented geometrically by a straight line whose length is proportional to the magnitude of the vector quantity. Is proportional to magnitude of vector quantity, and there is an arrow at its one end which represents direction. Arrow will represent the direction. Means here it is represented by this way. Geometrically, how will you represent? By a straight line. The length of the straight line is proportional to the magnitude of vector quantity. And arrow is pointing towards that direction in which the vector quantity is directed. Now you can see here, on the plane of paper, we take these as the standard direction. It is east direction. It is the west direction. Here it is north direction, and this is south. Symbolically, how will you represent? This is the geometrical representation. Symbolically, for example, velocity vector is represented by this symbol. V के ऊपर एक arrow रखते. Force vector is represented by this vector. This is the symbolic representation. Displacement vector is represented by this vector. It's clear. So this is the symbolic representation of the vector quantity. Now suppose there is a force vector 10 Newton in the east direction. How will you represent it geometrically? So we will assume a scale. Let 2 Newton equals to 1 centimeter. Now you take a point. With respect to this point, what is east direction? East direction is this. So in this direction, you draw a line segment of 5 centimeter length. This will be the vector F. This is the symbolic representation. It is the geometrical representation. Now see here. Suppose there is a velocity vector. It is 20 meters per second, 30 degrees north of east. What is the meaning of this? 30 degrees north of east means it is 30 degrees from east direction towards north. 30 degrees from east direction towards north means you assume a scale. Let 5 meters per second equals to 1 centimeter. It's clear. And so what will be this? This will be equals to 4 centimeter. It can be represented by a line segment of 4 centimeter. Now with respect to this point, this is what? This is the east direction. Because you have to measure the angle from east. So You mark this direction. Now you measure 30-degree angle in what direction? Towards the north. This is the north direction. This is east and this is north. Now you measure an angle of 30-degree towards north and draw a line segment of 4 centimeters. This is the velocity. Here it is velocity. So this way you can draw the velocity. You can geometrically represent a vector quantity. Now see here. Here in the vector quantity, when you will geometrically represent, then this is the initial point and this is the final point. This is initial point and this is final point. It's clear. There is one more name. This is called tail and this is called head. The end at which there is the arrow is called head and the initial point is called the tail. It's clear. Now after this, we will see the types of vectors. So we can classify vectors in 2 classes. In which vectors are having the specified direction. Vectors are having the specified direction. Means their starting point is fixed. And other are with whose directions are described with respect to some plane. It is polar vector. And there is the axial vector. Now in the polar vector, starting point, they are having a defined starting point. It's clear. For example, velocity vector. For example, displacement vector. It's clear. For example, force vector. All these vectors are having a specified initial point. It's clear. Now, acceleration vector. All these are the polar vectors. Most of the vectors are polar. It's clear. Now you can see here. Velocity vector, displacement vector, force vector, area, acceleration vector. Now axial vector. Their direction is described with respect to plane. In this chapter, we are more largely concerned with the polar vectors. We are largely concerned with the polar vectors. It's clear? Now, axial vectors are those which are represented by whose direction is described with respect to some plane. It's clear? Now see here, in rotational mechanics, we will come across, such vectors. Rotational mechanics. Rotational mechanics means rotational motion. Now see here, for example, torque vector. It's clear? Torque vector, it is the combined effect of force and displacement. It is having a tendency of turning the body. Here, torque vector, it can turn the body in clockwise direction or in anti-clockwise direction. So torque vector, its direction is described with respect to some plane. It is normal to that plane. Now see here. Here the body rotating this way. What will be the torque vector? It will be along the axis. It will be along the axis. This is the direction of torque vector. Similarly, angular velocity vector, angular momentum vector. So all these you come to know in this chapter. In this chapter, we are largely concerned with the polar vectors. Now see here, after this, we will see types of vectors. It's clear? And these types are under polar vector. Types of vectors. Number one, equal vectors. Two vectors are said to be equal if they are same in magnitude as well as in direction. Two vectors are said to be equal if they are same in magnitude as well as in direction. Then they will be equal vectors. It is clear? Then there are opposite vectors. Having opposite direction. Having opposite direction. It's clear? Now see here. For example, one vector is in this direction. This is vector A. Another vector is in this direction. They are opposite to each other. They are opposite to each other. It's clear? Now see here, we also call them anti-parallel. It's clear? And there is one more here. Negative of a vector. Negative of a vector. Now you can see here. Negative of a vector means having same magnitude. But opposite direction. For example, here, this is the vector A. Now, if we draw another vector of same length, but in this direction. So if you representing by vector A, then it is negative of vector A. It's clear? All of you be very careful that opposite vector means anti-parallel. It's clear? Anti-parallel means having opposite directions. Magnitude need not to be same. Though in your book it is given that opposite vectors have same magnitude. That is not correct. In your book it is given that opposite vectors are having same magnitude. No. Opposite vector means only opposite directions. There is no concern with the magnitude. That you will remember. It's clear? Negative vector is having same magnitude but opposite direction. It's clear? Now see here. In context of opposite vector, one more thing I want to tell you. Here, there is a term like vector, unlike vector. Unlike vector means opposite vector. It's clear. Unlike vector means anti-parallel. Anti-parallel. But here like vectors means parallel. Having same direction. Now see here. These two vectors are not same in magnitude, but they are having the same direction. So these are the like vectors. These are the like vectors. These are the parallel vectors. It's clear. Now, while here, this set of vectors, one is this, another is this. These are the unlike vectors. These are the opposite vectors. These are the anti-parallel vectors. So that you will remember. Then there is a term co-initial vectors. It is very clear from the name. Co-initial means having the same starting point. Having the same starting point are the co-initial vectors. Their direction may be any. It's clear. These are the co-initial vectors having same starting point. Co-terminus vector. Terminus vector. Now, co-terminus vector means having the same end point. Having the same end point means heads are at the same point. These are the co-terminus vectors. Then there is a modulus of vector. It is very important. Modulus of vector means its magnitude. Magnitude. And how will you represent the magnitude of vector A? How will you represent the magnitude of vector A? So it is represented by modulus of vector A, this way, or simply A. Don't put arrow, either by this way or by this way. It's clear? Means modulus of vector A is A. Modulus of vector A will be written as this. Suppose I have written vector F equals to 10 Newton north. What will be the modulus of vector F? Who can tell? Ananya Dikshit. Modulus of vector F. Who can tell?
Sir, 10.
It will be 10 Newton, not 10. Magnitude means magnitude along with the unit. Magnitude means magnitude along with the unit. It's clear. Now see here, after this, there is one more unit vector. Unit vector having magnitude of 1 unit. 1 unit magnitude. For example, velocity is given 50 meters per second south. What will be the unit vector and how will you represent it symbolically? It is represented by putting this sign over the alphabetical letter. For example, what will be its unit vector? What will be its unit vector? Who can tell? Arth Kumar.
1.
It will be 1 meter per second, not 1. 1 meter per second south. It will be written because this is a vector. This is a vector. Only the difference is its magnitude is 1. It's clear? Whether it is clear or not?
Yes,
now
sir.
See, suppose it is given vector F equals to 30 Newton east. What will be the unit vector in this direction?
1 Newton.
1 Newton direction also.
1 Newton east.
You will write in this way. Now see here, if you focus over this, what will be the modulus of vector F?
30 Newton.
30.
30
It's clear?
Newton.
30 Newton, but here we will take only 30. It's clear? जैसे अगर हमको लिखना होता तो हम 30 न्यूटन लिखते ना। वेक्टर में क्या होता है, मैग्नीट्यूड होता है, यूनिट होती, ये तो दो चीजें नेसेसरी हैं। अगर हम लिखे फोर्स 30 है, कोई मीनिंग नहीं है। 30 न्यूटन है, 30 डाइन है, क्या है वो यूनिट हमको मेंशन करना। बट हियर वी आर टेकिंग ओनली 30. इट्स क्लियर? नाउ सी हियर, यू कैन सी हियर, if you divide this thing by 30 you will get this. मिल जाएगा कि नहीं? अगर इसको हम 30 से डिवाइड कर दें तो हमको क्या मिल जाएगा, ये you will get this thing. Similarly here, what is the modulus of velocity? It is 50. If you divide this thing by 50 you will get this. It's clear? So we can write unit vector A equals to vector A upon modulus of vector A. It's clear this. Unit vector A means vector A upon modulus of vector A. And modulus means here only magnitude part, not unit part. Here modulus means only magnitude part, not unit part. Unit part we will not take here in this formula. It's clear? Elsewhere we will write modulus of vector F equals to 30 Newton. Whether it is clear? So you will remember this. This is unit vector. It is very important. In the latter part of this chapter, it will be of very much importance. Now see here. There are three independent directions already I have told, and we take these directions as x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. And why do we say these directions as independent directions? Because if anything is occurring along one axis, it will not produce any effect on the remaining two directions. On the plane of paper, I have shown this way, but actually it is this. Actually, it is normal to the plane of paper. Z-axis is normal to the plane of paper. These three directions are, you can see here, x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. These are mutually perpendicular. Axes. Mutually perpendicular axes. It's clear? Or we can say orthogonal directions. So these are the mutually perpendicular directions. Now see here. Here along x-axis we take unit vector I. Along y-axis we take unit vector j. And along z-axis we take unit vector k. Means whatever be the type of vector, whether it is a displacement vector or it is a velocity vector or it is a force vector, in these directions unit vectors are represented by these symbols. Unit vector I means it is unit vector along x-axis. Unit vector j means it is unit vector along y-axis. It is unit vector k along z-axis. It's clear? So this is all about the unit vector. Then there is one more vector, zero vector or null vector. Zero vector or null vector means having zero magnitude, having no magnitude. And since it don't have any magnitude, Therefore, it cannot be represented by a line segment. It is just represented by a point. Geometrically, it is just represented by a point. Geometrically, it is just represented by a point. It's clear? As it don't have any direction, it is just represented by a point. But symbolically, how will you represent? Over 0, you will put the vector sign. It is 0 vector. Over 0, you put the vector sign, you will get the 0 vector. It's clear? So it is the null vector or 0 vector. Then there is one coplanar vector. ये अपने नाम से ही सब clear है. Coplanar vector means all the vectors which are lying on the same plane. For example, on the plane of paper, if we draw some vectors, all these vectors are coplanar vectors because they are lying on the same plane. It's clear? Vector A, vector B, vector C, all the three are lying along same plane. But if I ask here whether these three vectors are coplanar, क्या ये और ये मिलके कोप्लानर वेक्टर्स हैं? So no. Why? Because only two at a time are lying on one plane. For example, vector I, unit vector I and unit vector J, they are lying on XY plane. Per unit vector J is normal, K is normal to that. Similarly, these two are lying on one plane. This is normal to that plane. So all the three together are not coplanar vectors. It's clear? Collinear vectors which are along the same line means like parallel and anti-parallel. Parallel and anti-parallel, you can say collinear. These are collinear. These are collinear vectors. It's clear? So this is all about the types of polar vector. There is one more, which is the displacement vector, which is the position vector. These are the fixed vector. And why do we say fixed vector? You can see. Now, for example, here you have represented the velocity vector. Now, if you draw another line segment of the same length, but this way, it's clear. Length is same, direction is same. So this is also representing to the same vector. We can represent this also by the same symbol because having same magnitude and same direction. But suppose this is a coordinate plane. OXY, it is a coordinate plane. Why do we say plane? Because it is having two perpendicular directions. It is having two perpendicular directions. Position vector always starts from origin and ends at that point whose position vector it is. जिस point का position vector है उस point पर जाके ये end होगा. You can see here. Here, this is a point P. What will be its position vector? It will be this. Its starting point will be origin, ending point will be vector P. Now see here. Here this is vector OP. Now if we draw another line segment whose length is equal to OP and having the same direction, whether you can represent it by vector OP? So no. Here it cannot be position vector of point P. here this vector though equal to this vector, equal means having same magnitude and same direction, but this is position vector of point P and this one is not the position vector of point P. So position vector is a fixed point. Position vector is a fixed point. Similarly, there is a displacement vector. Suppose on a coordinate plane, a particle starts moving from here, moves this way, and then reaches here. This is the initial point, this is the final point. What will be its displacement vector? Displacement vector will be confined in between initial to final. It will be confined in between initial to final. If you draw another vector of same length, another vector of same length in the same direction, that cannot be displacement vector. वो यहाँ पर डिस्प्लेसमेंट वेक्टर नहीं होगा इस मोशन का वो डिस्प्लेसमेंट वेक्टर नहीं होगा. So this is all about vectors. You can see in your book on page 130, 131, 132. From tomorrow I will explain you vector addition. It's clear? Now let me mark the attendance.